Hey guys, this video is going to start shortly, but before it does, I just wanted to give a little bit of a disclaimer before we get going. This video is going to be a full-on rant about my old home and all of the feelings about it I have kept bottled up for the last 6 years. And I'm going to be brutally honest here and get all of that off my chest. And with me being brutally honest, you would think that I have much harsher words. And originally, I did. Originally, I was going to have 2 separate versions of this video. A censored version and a non-censored version. But I am trying to keep the channel family friendly, and I don't want to be associated with swearing because, if I'm being quite honest, there are already way too many YouTubers and channels like that already. Way too many. So, the fewer channels like that, the better, I personally think. So now I'm just going to do one clean version, but there's still going to be a few strong words and opinions here and there. Just, it's all based on my own personal experience. So there's your warning there. If you are easily offended by rants or what I may have to say, you might want to click away now. I don't typically say or do stuff trying to be offensive or whatever, but again, I have been pushed way past my breaking point and I kind of need to vent. But with that little warning out of the way, onto the rant. Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here, and today I wanted to talk about how I really feel about my old home. And I'm not talking about the building. I already listed everything wrong there in the moving video. Now, this video I want to talk about the service provider and how crap they are. Now, in the moving video, I was giving them, the staff, nothing but praise. But that was all a lie. I was playing along to ensure I got this place. But now, I can rant and say my true feelings as much as I like with no consequences. But they weren't always so bad. When I first moved there, back in 2013, everything was okay. For the first few years, at least, things were much simpler. No silly rules, the staff were way less toxic and actually helpful, and no restrictive visiting hours. But sadly, over time, quality of life there started to gradually decrease in 2016, and then finally hit rock bottom in 2018 with no hope of salvation. And with all hope lost, you can only imagine how bad things got when COVID finally hit in 2020. When the lockdowns finally hit. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. So, in this video, I am going to rant all about the ways that place has screwed me over and why you should stay well away. They are extremely short-staffed with only 3 permanent members, relying way too much on bank staff, people who might as well be complete strangers to us. I felt like I wasn't getting the level of support that I needed given my health issues and stress that I endured. I felt like the staff were only doing the bare minimum and were only ever focused on themselves. They moved in someone who was deaf despite no one there being trained in even the most basics of sign language. And to be quite honest, I am seriously worried that because of their lack of appropriate care, I am seriously worried that someday someone there is going to die of neglect. Not all the staff are toxic. Some are only following orders and are victims just like us. To those few decent members of staff and residents, you have my deepest of sympathies, and I hope one day you can find the strength and courage to leave, just like me. And to all those other members of staff, I hope that justice will be served and nobody else will ever have to go through what I did. The manager is an entitled jerk who makes up silly rules just for the sake of it, just because he can. One time, for a while, there was a rule that he made up where you couldn't hang your laundry over the radiators, which caused quite a few problems, and rightly so too, because you can't, not everything can go in the dryer. You can't hang things outside to dry in Britain because it's always freaking raining. So what do? You can't use a radiator. Not everything can go in the dryer. You can't hang things outside, so what do? You're completely screwed. Luckily, this was overruled not long before I left, but my point still stands. When I had COVID-19 and couldn't leave my flat, the staff completely abandoned me. On the day I moved, the staff would not help me with the last minute packing before the removal men came. I remember a friend of mine came to help with the last bits and pieces and saw the state of my flat, and she said to the bank staff on shift at the time, "He's not even packed," and the bank staff just shrugged her shoulders and walked away as if to say, "It's not my problem," and just leaving us to fend for ourselves. And for staff, that's pretty disgraceful behaviour. On the day of the house shop, the staff would leave everything to you with no help at all. From writing the shopping list to getting there and back, and everything in between, they leave everything to you. No help at all. And even if you were sick, they would still make you go. That's annoying. The fact that if you were sick, if you were ill, they would still make you go, which, by the way, resulted in me losing my house keys, which I never freaking saw again. And to this day, I still blame the staff for that. If they had just leave me be until I was feeling better, none of that would have happened. And yes, they did also make me pay for a replacement key out of my own freaking money. And they called all this, making you do stuff, making you do stuff on your own with no help at all. They called this independence training, but I could see it for what it really was. Freaking laziness. All of that just because they couldn't be bothered to do their jobs properly. When I had my name legally changed by Depot, the staff completely screwed up the process. only taking it so far, which led to a lot of complications. It led to a lot of complications for when I moved and left me in a lot of debt and almost ruined my first Christmas here. Since leaving, I have been very open and very vocal about my experience, spreading the word so nobody else has to go through what I did. As a survivor, it is my duty to warn others. So, if by some chance you get offered a flat here, just don't take it. Just don't take it. No matter how good the deal sounds, it's not worth it. So again, yeah, if you ever get offered a place in, I mean, obviously I can't say where it is or whatever, you know, because of reasons, but if by some chance you get offered a place where I came from, the place I was at, by some chance, just don't take it, because it's really terrible care. It's, you know, the worst of the worst. Like, it's like for someone in supported living, you know, someone with those kind of requirements, it's literally the worst care you could possibly ask for. I mean, if you don't mind having crappy care, you know, if you don't mind having the worst care in the world, then sure, by all means, take it. But yeah. Anyway, so that's going to about do it for my little rant. I feel like I've said everything that I need to. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I feel a lot better now that I've gotten all that off my chest. Honestly, I've been holding that in for the last few years, and it's been absolutely bonkers. So I do feel a lot better now that I've got it all off my chest. And yes, there is a part of me that still wants revenge, but at least now I've gotten all this off my chest. At least now I can hopefully get a bit of closure, and hopefully I can now start to move on with the recovery process. You know, that's one step. Hopefully the rest should be a lot easier. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant, you know, or, you know, enjoyed as best you could. Yeah, I just really think that talking about stuff like this was a good move on my part. It's just, you know, it gets me closure, it helps me move on, hopefully. But anyway, that's going to about do it. So, as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good day, you guys.